Pokimane, but I am gonna react to it just to make a clip out of it. Absolutely, positively.
The internet's favorite streamer, Pokimane, is once again going viral for a tweet that left a lot of people on Twitter in an uproar. Popular creators like Asmongold and Tectone even made a response video to this said tweet.
Because these people don't believe anything it is that they're saying. They don't. They will go live and they will say the exact thing that the public wants to hear.
And I'm not gonna lie, they were tweaking a bit. The tweet also got like 30 million views, which is absolutely absurd, but it's also not out of the ordinary because if you've been following the channel, then you would know that I covered Pokimane around a couple months ago. And it was kind of for a similar reason that she had went viral on Twitter because she had said something that a bunch of people disagree with.
Do you think someday we'll have a revolution like that in America? Right? It's getting there, right?
We already have one.
Another one.
What's going on?
The wealth disparity is getting bad.
The wage gap, I hate that.
No wealth
She's towing that line. I don't remember what she originally did that pissed people off, because I remember she was in hot water a while ago. But is she wrong for saying this? No, but it definitely I know it definitely ruffled feathers, especially in her community. You got to be on your toes. You got to be on your P's and Q's. You know, they be doing, you know, cooking streams and stuff like that. I might have to do a cooking stream. I gotta tap into the Poggers community.
wage gap is like between men and
Well,
women.
yeah, she's
Men and women, we
definitely
love each
talking
other.
about that's dangerous.
And we hate the rich. Anyways.
We
Hate the rich is crazy. Hold on, let me see that again. Let me see what that say. 2024 estimated net worth depending on the source. Around 6 million. Other networks or other sources mention 2 to 3 million. Remarkable 25 million. I'm not gonna lie, she's mattered for too long. Cause I remember the first time I got introduced to Pokimane was during the Among Us stream era, like back in 2020. So I know she has to have at least 6 M's. Cause those checks, who was it? Disguised Toast was talking about how like he was regularly like off one vid clearing over 10K. Like those were it was easy bread back then. So I'm not gonna lie, 25 million doesn't sound crazy for Pokimane. Even if she let's lowball it. Let's say it is in the $2 to $3 million range. We hate the rich. Silly goose, that's you. That's literally you. You have joined. You are now an elite employee. Right? You are in the highest tax bracket.
We hate the rich. That was the statement uttered by a millionaire with generational wealth. A statement uttered by someone who was already richer than your parents and richer than mine. Combined, by the way. This was also the same person who mocked people in her chat for saying that $28 was too expensive for some cookies.
When people
I'm not gonna
are
lie.
like, oh my god,
Disguised
$28
corpse,
for cookies?
yeah.
It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like if you're a broke boy, just say so. Anyways,
And we hate the rich.
So yeah,
Wait.
Pokimane was insane.
I thought it
just
was
say so.
supposed to be the other
Math
way.
is hard.
Hold on.
That's $7 for cookies.
Cookies.
When people are like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's 7.
All right, yeah, no. She's tweaking. In no world, all right. I've had the cookies, so I'm gonna say it. Insomnia cookies. What's the other one? Crumble cookies. There's no cookie that's worth $1 individually. And I understand like inflation and stuff, so we have to respect that now. But there's no world where you can convince me that for a 12-pack of cookies, it should cost you $30. A 12-pack of classic cookies from Insomnia Cookies right now today. What's today? What's today? July 10th, 2025. It will run you literally like it's like $28.50 and then border like $30.27 with tax. So there's no world where you can convince me that's not expensive. I could have $1 million. I could have $100,000. I could have $50 billion. It doesn't matter. It's still expensive. So the fact that they would sit there and her saying this is just like, that's just a bad look.
$7 a bag. I
Yeah, she's not helping her
know
case.
math is hard when you're an idiot, but like if you're a
When
broke
you're
boy,
an
just say
idiot?
so.
Anyways, and we hate the rich.
So yeah,
She has to live in LA. Oh, they were her cookies? Oh, that's even worse. No, you can't do that. You actually can't do that. If you're trying to convince somebody to buy your product and they're apprehensive, you have to sell them on the quality of the product that you're selling them. The reason why they cost $7 a bag is because XYZ, right? You have to sell your name and sell the bag. You can't sit there, you call potential customers broke. No, they don't want to spend money with you. It's kind of like the, what is it? The Lululemon, the original CEO or owner of Lululemon, when he would sit there and he just out of the blue, I'm not gonna lie, he's a villain. I love it. But he sat there, he was like, well, we don't make clothing for obese people. If the clothes don't fit you, we didn't make clothes for you. And he has a whole like laundry list of type of people that he does not like. And I thought it was hilarious, but at the same time, I appreciated the honesty because he's letting you know off rip what kind of person he is. So if you don't align with his values, then don't shop with Lululemon. And for a minute, the PR team tried to sit there and double back and say, oh no, he doesn't represent our brand and this, that, and the third. And like, you have to respect that because they're trying to make sure they can keep their business afloat and like make money and stuff. And then you had the whole Lululemon, like that whole thing that unfortunately, like if he heard that song, he might actually have a stroke and die because he does not like that sort of thing. You can tell by his values, but you got to sit there. If you're going to sell somebody something or sell somebody on the idea of being something, you have to properly do it. You can't BS. You can't insult them because they're not going to support you. That just don't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Pokimane was insane for those clips, which is why she received a ton of backlash online. And I mean, they were frying her. I think I even went over a guy who left her a whole novel in the comment section. Like this right here is pure and dedicated hate, and all you can do is respect it. But clips like these of Pokimane serve as an example because it goes to show that she will say anything in order to be liked by the masses and her audience, and pretty much just trying to take whatever opinion is popular at the moment. So with this in mind, let's go over her tweet. Now, as most of you probably already know or not, the Diddy trials recently came to an end, and he was acquitted of most of these serious charges. And I'm only bringing this up because this is relevant, and I'm pretty sure this is what Pokimane's tweet is referring to. But yeah, Diddy got acquitted of the most serious charges, and everybody had a reaction to it. So Pokimane took to Twitter and said, "Believe all victims." Now, the statement "believe all victims" isn't bad in and of itself, but in the context of like a law and court and jail time, I don't think that's true. I think we should believe evidence and proof rather than just people claiming things. But you know what? That's just my take. Apparently, Pokimane wants to believe.
I'm not gonna lie. If she said believe all victims, then yeah, she would have been out of pocket. But believe victims is not crazy to say. Oh, I love you and I agree, but I can't forget the way you made fun of Amber Heard during the trial. It was really disappointing. Please address this. Amber Heard was wrong. I was about to sit there and be like, oh man, Pokimane, you messed up. No, Amber Heard was wrong. Am I tweaking? I thought we established this already. I thought we definitely established that.
Believe everybody. So after the
Oh, you know what? I'm being slow. I'm being slow. But no, she didn't say believe all victims. She just said believe victims. And for a while, people did believe the situation until all the information got dropped. I think you should, in theory, wait until all lore gets dropped so you can make an educated opinion and have an educated stance. There's nothing worse than somebody that just sits there and says stuff just to say it. Like you said, yeah, she shouldn't be a popular person anymore. It would be good if she faded away quietly. Yeah. She's not quite in the Jack Dory realm, but she's definitely not in the, the Phantom, the Mark Phillips, the Desmond, the I'm Davis. Like she's not in that niche area. She's not even in the IShowSpeed category. She's definitely, she's not like close to Senna even. So, I mean, she has her moments. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, she should just cease to create, but she's never been my cup of tea. I'll put it like that.
The internet exploded, with his tweet having 30.2 million views in 3 days, with it also racking up 82,000 likes and 3,000 comments, which, when you think about it, are pretty good stats for a tweet, all until, well, you open the comment section. And just an FYI, before we actually look at the comments, they are a bit insane, like overly insane. So I just wanted to give a fair warning before we look at them. So the top comment of my knowledge on Pokimane's Believe Victims tweet has 167,000 likes, which is literally 80,000 more likes than the original post that she made. And the catch caption says, and I quote, Pokimane tried to grate me at the Atlanta airport in 2019. Wow, what a banger of a tweet. You know what?
Is that
Actually,
real?
I lied. This is the most popular response to Pokimane's tweet, and it has 256,000 likes, which means it currently has 170,000 more likes than Pokimane's original post. How does that even happen? The post also has 13.5 million views, and this is off of a reply, so this is crazy. And the caption reads, I was gripped by Pokimane in 1997. Oh my lordy. And the replies to his comment are even crazier.
Oh, okay. I see why we're being smartasses now. Okay. All right. Should I seek financial compensation from my abuser? Yes, generational wealth. No, nah, clock in tomorrow. They got is that Oscar from Neon Genesis Evangelion as a profile picture? You're crazy. You're brave for sharing your story. We're about to be getting a lawsuit about this. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. That's out of pocket. That's out of pocket like crazy.
26,000 likes. She took my cheeks in 2001. 6.7 thousand likes. And I'm telling you, these tweets just go on and on and on of people claiming that Pokimane R-word at them and many more. And if I had to guess, I would say that 3,000 replies out of the 3.1 that actually responded are saying stuff like that in the comments. And it's crazy because these aren't even really things to joke about. Like when you boil it all down, people are just making R-word jokes.
I'll believe victims. Well, once again, I like to fancy myself the person who brings things back down into reality. I tweet out 3 words that cause quite the commotion, just like Pokimane tweeted 2 words. Women can lie. Yep. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to talk about why it is so dangerous to tweet out things like believe victims. You know what we should believe, Pokimane? People should believe proof. Because when good boys who, man, morals are so much higher than mine, tweet out things like believe victims in such a mass blanket statement, which, by the way, is never a good thing to do, what happens is that you are leaning into something that I like to call guilty until proven innocent, and not innocent until proven guilty. When you say that anybody can go on the internet and lie, when anybody can go on the internet and say anything, and you have to believe them because they're crying, well, guess what? That doesn't set up a good precedent, now does it?
In this context, I would absolutely agree that we should definitely believe people with proof. That way,
hit the
people
nail
aren't
on
just
the head.
getting...
I'm not gonna lie. Women can lie. It's hilarious. They're gonna call you misogynist for this one. Tectone, Pokimane. I believe you. Nah, he hit the nail on the head though. I mean, it's unfortunate that you have to take that approach, but a lot of times it just doesn't register in some people's brains that, you know, such a thing could occur, such a thing exists, or what the implications of their statements are. And clearly in her head, now if she said believe all victims, I think I would have a more negative view of her. But believe victims in this case, because it's directly related, or we're assuming it's directly related to the Diddy situation. I understand. But considering the pull that she has, the fact that she didn't directly attach it to any article relating to it and didn't say believe the victims. If she said believe the victims and tagged it in response to like a specific post and like reposted it or retweeted it, then it would make sense. Like, I don't think anybody would have a crazy opinion about that. But the fact that she just blankly says this with nothing to connect it to is the bigger problem, honestly.
Falsely accused of random crimes. But then again, I don't even think Pokimane's saying to believe people without proof. But then again, I could be wrong. Other creators like Asmongold also weighed in on the situation.
Pokimane drops a believe victims tweet. How brave. Oh God. Shouldn't you figure it out based in a court of law? Don't go around and just believe what people say. You know why? It's because people lie. What a dumb thing to say. Pokimane is apologizing to someone on X for laughing at Amber Heard. Please fucking remind me about that after.
I forgot to mention that since Pokimane brought up the believe victims tweet, many people have been going back in the past and bringing up when she was making fun of Amber Heard when she was on trial. And if you guys remember, at the time, Amber Heard was supposed to be the apparent victim, but obviously the trial proved that that wasn't the case. People in this Reddit thread are even saying that Pokimane went so far as to put a tier counter on the screen throughout her streams, including during Amber Heard's
He said so many people got dogpiled for stuff like that. Some who were honestly innocent and lost for that. Yeah, and it happens too many times. Her saying this statement without the context is the missing piece to this. If she attached it to a post about that trial specifically and said believe the victims, I believe that nobody would have beef with her. Dare I say, people would retweet her in agreement with it. But the fact that she said it in that way, just blankly out in the open, she opened up a can of worms. And you think, considering her previous controversies, she should know better. to a certain extent. Like maybe she's not perfect. I'm not going to expect her to be perfect, right? Even though I think she's pushing 30, like I think she should know most of this stuff. I think she might be 30 actually. How old is Pokimane? Oh, I'm gonna look this up. Google. Well, that didn't help me. How old is Pokimane? Oh, she's 29. She's pushing 30 now. All right. She's actually she's on the clock. May 14th. All right. So she has until next year. But no, I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, 29. So she's been in the game for a hot minute. Like she's been in it for over half a decade. Because there's videos of her being like a teenager doing content. So she just gotta know better.
Assault testimony. A tier counter is crazy.
Pokimane, I love you and I agree, but I can't forget the way you made fun of Amber Heard during the trial. It was really disappointing. Please address this. I completely understand. I regret how I restreamed the trial because any jokes are at the expense of the victims can be perceived. I apologize I took down the videos. She's apologizing for laughing at Amber Heard.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Okay, when they were talking about like, we have all this evidence that he actually did it.
So yeah, this is why a lot of people believe that Pokimane doesn't really care about anything she tweets about, and she just says it at the time because it's popular. Because I'm not gonna lie, anytime she makes a controversial tweet, it seems like you can always go in the past and find a time where she said the exact opposite. There seems to never be any consistency with anything she says, which once again makes what Textone said all the more real.
Because these people don't believe anything it is that they're saying. They don't. They will go live and they will say the exact thing that the public wants to hear.
So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think Pokimane actually cares about anything she talks about, or is she purely doing it for engagement and doesn't care about anything? This video is over.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's the nature of the beast, honestly. There's too many content creators where like nowadays with sponsorships, brand deals and everything, you have to be a certain type of person or you have to be a certain category of individual in order to number one, get those deals. Number two, to keep those deals. And number three, to get more deals. So if you don't follow whatever's socially relevant and socially prevalent at the time, you risk being on the out. You risk getting kicked. You risk not getting that money. And she's just one of those people where she's always made her career, for the most part, being brand friendly, being like, being super smiley and that sort of thing. So it doesn't surprise me that you can go back and look at her log and see how her opinions literally ebb and flow with whatever is going on in the social times and the social like structure of whatever, because that's just how she's always been. There's never been a moment where you said, man, Pokimane is incredibly consistent with her opinions. Dang, she's always felt this way. Even when it comes to the types of video games that she plays and the stuff that she says while she's in games or when she's doing different sorts of streams, her opinions aren't consistent there either. She just, and it's not even like a, you could say, oh, it's, socially her being a girl, she has to kind of conform to that sort of thing. If you want to make that argument, I suppose you could, but it's going to be a very weak argument to me because at the end of the day, she's doing it for the money. And if she just openly admits that, like, hey, I have opinions, but I understand that some of my opinions just don't align with social things. So this is what I do. If that was just like an out in the open thing, it'd be perfectly fine. Nobody would argue with it. But it's the fact that it's not that creates the bigger issue. Respectfully, of course, nothing, no real Pokimane hate. Just